using a blend of speed and size to get to where he wants to go.
We've just started up this season, Grant. What's important for players right now?
You know, I think it's finding a good routine, especially for those on new teams. The earlier you figure out what works for you, the quicker you'll get comfortable.
And the call is going to be, yes, an illegal screen.
You're not going to fool the officials too often on an illegal screen.
That's a very avoidable turnover. You gotta focus on the details.
Now here's Doncic. Tightly guarded. Counted.
You know, the instincts of Luka Doncic are second to none. Such a natural playmaker.
Spurs trail by 4. Castle outside. For 3. And it's Phoenix with the rebound. They defeated Utah in their last game.
And that one, the other team could not keep up with them offensively. They were prolific.
And on top of probably having the better talent, they never let up. Great effort, great win.
In transition, here they come. San Antonio again can't hit. Phoenix leading by 4. Doncic right side. Pass to Jackson. Back to Doncic. That one's wide left.
Okay, so if I were to say this was a disaster of a period for him, it would be an understatement. But hey, sometimes you gotta shoot your way out of the slump, even for him.
Here's Champagnie. Knocks it down from distance. Champagnie's got his second bucket of the night.
Vassell keeping his eyes open and his head up. That's a nice pass.
Doncic shot is good.
He gets inside right when he sees the opening. Gotta attack when you have that chance.
Vassell outside. Pass to Champagnie. Fires from deep. It's hauled in by Luka Doncic.
The shooter thought he had enough space, but the defender was right on him.
Did a great job closing the gap, making the shooter feel uncomfortable.
Count it. Good.
And going right through the contact, Luka has tremendous strength. Especially for a guy who handles the ball so much.
For San Antonio, Cornette checked in for Victor Wembanyama. Harrison Barnes comes in for Vassell. And it's Johnson in for Castle. And the Spurs willing to be patient with this rebuild, but when De'Aaron Fox became available, Grant, they did not blink.
Yeah, he's just too dynamic to pass up. And still young enough to grow with their core. Now it's about making the pieces click.
San Antonio calls timeout. And as the coaches draw up their strategies, the players staying hydrated with some Gatorade. That's key to keeping them at their best all the way up to the buzzer.
It really is. And every one of those players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
Malawach is checked in for the Suns.
Yeah, Harper really had to force his way through. No one gives rookies an easy time out there.
From deep, here's Doncic. And out of bounds, San Antonio.
We have a very special guest today on 2K TV, former WNBA player and coach, now turned agent. Welcome to the show, Jackie Gimellis. It is so exciting to have you on. Let's talk about your transition from player and coach, now an agent. What's that been like for you?
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here with you guys. Yeah, so my transition from being a player and a coach.
Coming to you live on this Tuesday night, it's the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan along with Tim Legler and Greg Anthony. And our reporter on the sideline tonight, Allie LaForce. And now the opening lineup for Phoenix. We've got Oubre, Luka Doncic out there with John Konchar. And there's Jackson. And for the Warriors, the forward spots will be Butler and Green. DeAnthony Melton out there with Curry, and it's Porzingis in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Certainly one of the most intriguing parts of a new season, Tim, seeing which rookies have hit the ground running, have picked up and not missed a beat.
It's such a difficult adjustment, Kevin, when you get into this league and you see how fast things are happening, how big everybody on the court is. The window's very tight to make decisions. Very difficult to predict who is going to make that transition the fastest.
What was the one thing for you, size or speed or a combination of each?
For me, it was how quickly the shooting lanes closed up. You had much less time to make a decision of when to shoot, when to pass. That, to me, was the biggest transition.
Right now, let's take a moment here to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sideline.
I had a chance to catch up with Steve Kerr. I asked him what lessons he's learned from studying tape on Luka Doncic, and Coach told me, well, one thing is you can't force him into anything. Luka plays at the pace that he wants to play at and goes where he wants to go on the floor. But we can try and take away his options, and that should present some obstacles for him. Back to you guys.
Terrific, Allie. We appreciate the report. Butler with the steal. Melton passes to Kerr. The shot goes in. First shot, first basket.
Stronger than he looks. Curry able to take the hit there and finish.
Doncic against Curry. Inside. That one misses. Great D that time from Green. Golden State's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Curry outside. Buries it from three-point range. Curry's got 5.
Well, that's Curry doing what he does best, doing damage from the outside.
The 3 for Doncic. Good on the triple.
Mano y mano. This is where it can get a little personal.
And within the bigger picture of the game, you have these individual matchups.
Now here's Curry. 5 points in the game. And he drives in, and it's good for 2. He has 7.
And how about when Curry gets fancy with it? His confidence is what allows him to pull off these moves.
Pass to Jackson. Guarded by Green. Doncic outside. Clock at 6. Shoots over Curry, and Doncic gets it to go.
Creating space, Doncic will move defenders around.
So, GA, when you think about Steph Curry's legacy, he changed the way the NBA game is played.
Man, it is hard to find a player who's had the impact of a Steph Curry, making us rethink what is possible. Curry's endless range has really inspired a generation.
Now, here's Doncic. Turned in an outstanding game against San Antonio.
The orchestrator. Doncic knows where everyone is at all times and completely dictates the pace.
And here's Curry, who brings it up for Golden State. Trailing by 2. Porzingis finds Curry. Oubre against Butler. Down low, here's Green. His first shot is a miss, 0 for 1 to start the contest. And Stephen Curry with the foul.
Stephen Curry.
That's his first foul.
Personal foul. First team foul.
On defense, the Warriors. In the corner, it's Oubre. Guarded by Green. Back to Konchar. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Doncic. And Doncic throws it down.
Oh, from ultra close range, Doncic.
And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. And the Warriors decide to take their first time out here. And this is their first time matched up with the Suns this season.
And although they were the better team last year by overall record, this was a competitive matchup for them.
And let's take a moment to honor the Western Conference Player of the Week, Luka Doncic.
Basketball is one of the few sports where good offense beats good defense, and nobody has had better offense than him lately. I don't think there's anybody in the league that could have slowed him down on offense. He was unstoppable, to say the least.
And it's the Suns with the ball. Jimmy Butler unable to get his last shot to go. Here's Jackson, and Jackson throws it down hard.
And anytime Jackson gets near the rim, it's pretty much a done deal.
They get a hand on it. Doncic with the steal. Green with the block. Pass to Curry. Unloads from 13. And he hits the jump shot. Curry's got 11 points.
And really the scoring this quarter has been just off the charts, doing all he can to bring them back.
Oubre outside. Now Konchar. 5 on the clock. Over in the corner, Doncic. Beyond the arc. The Warriors pull it in. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
Yeah, those road games are tricky, but they had a good strategy going in and stuck to what they do best.
They were so precise with their execution. They didn't make many mistakes on either end, and that took the crowd out of the game.
And here are the Suns now, following the miss by Draymond Green. Out to Doncic. And Doncic throws it down.
Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Okay, I see ya. That's your point guard getting up.
Out of bounds, Phoenix will take possession. And let's check out a breakdown looking at some of the stats for Jaren Jackson. Pass to Konchar. Nice ball movement by Phoenix. Doncic passes to Jackson. Good. And the assist goes to Doncic.
Assist goes to
Doncic has got his 3rd assist on the night. Warriors trail by 8. Knocked away. And here is Butler. Shoots over Oubre. And that one hits back iron.
Well, it's tough to defend those fall-away jumpers. That's about as good a job as you can do.
Always going up for the alley-oop here. Here's Melton. Konchar pulls it in. Here's the Suns with the ball. They're on a 15-6 run. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. And when we look at this Suns team, Tim, over the last few seasons, what's the first word that comes to mind for you?
Well, Kevin, I'd say underachievement. You think back to 2021, 2 wins away from an NBA title. They made some swing for the fences type of decisions, and, well, it just didn't pan out.
Pushing the action, getting others involved.